Okay. Hello. So, hopefully everything's good. I'm gonna have. Hang on a second. Hang on a minute. We're gonna do a test. Give me a second. Hopefully everything's good. Okay. That hopefully won't. That won't echo through the stream. So, we're doing a live stream. We're doing some Drawing with Joe. It's Drawing with Joe live, of course. We're here live today. I don't know if I'm gonna time lapse this later. I might do. I might take the video from YouTube, throw it in Premiere, and time lapse that. So, I've got the stream and one monitor for the moment. Just while I'm sorting some stuff out, I am hoping to see if... Okay, it does work. So I'm hoping to see if my all my little things work. I've set up a bunch of custom overlays for the stream, so I'm just double checking that they all work. Might as well. It's the first time we're doing this after all. So let's see if all of this actually. Let's see if it works. Let's see if the thing works. It does work. I think it does probably work. There is some artifacting you can see on the stream. Not sure what that is. Why that is even. But it is. It's something I'm not going to be able to sort out now because we're going to be streaming. So, as the description says, we're going to be doing some Super Pen and Paper Treasure Hunter stuff. We're going to be doing that. I'm just going to do a couple of things. I just want to tweet out the link. Let's see. I'm streaming some drawing. Here's the link. Click it or like. Don't. How much can we actually fit in there? Or like, don't I know? Perfect. 0 characters left. So I'm going to pop that on Twitter. And then we're going to upload something to Instagram. Hopefully, I have no idea. Literally 0 idea how to actually do this. This is really bad. 0 idea. 0 idea. Can you upload things? It's okay if I can't via... What a disaster. I should have been significantly more prepared than this. But I am, like, not prepared in any shape or form. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to... Hang on. One moment. I'm going to go... I suppose this is all filling the stream with stuff that's happening though. Oh, that's not right. That's got to be there. So I mean, it's not the end of the world, I guess. Could be a hell of a lot worse. So, okay, you know what? Pardon me, I'm doing this on stream, but it's okay because there's maybe like 1 or 2 people watching and probably know who they are. But I'm going to be really nice and not say... I don't know, maybe they should post something in the chat, maybe make me feel like I'm not talking into the void. Wink wink. I don't know who it is who's actually watching. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know if anybody is even watching. Maybe it's just me. Who knows? But... Oh. Jake. This is really terrible. I'm doing this on stream. This is because this is gonna be archived as well. Okay. Alright. We've got that on Discord. Oh, I should probably actually make sure I've got my phone muted too. I'm really bad at this. I'm really bad at this whole streaming thing. Give us a minute. So maybe, probably not, but maybe I'll pester a couple of other people and we'll get some more voices in here. No idea though, to be honest. No clue. No clue. Here we go. Now I can actually upload that. And I'm gonna... Oh, let's look at the filters. Hang on. Let's do a tilt shift thing. That looks awful. I'm just gonna upload the picture. I'm just gonna upload the Drawing with Joe live thing. We're just gonna do that. And I'm gonna give the same... Hang on. Oh, of course I can't copy and paste. Hang on. Totally unprepared. Totally unprofessional. Useless. Rubbish. I'm rubbish. But I'm gonna solve it. Don't worry, guys. Or guy. Or nobody. I don't even know. So I'm gonna just... Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's the correct link. Let's put that out there. Bam, 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 bam. It's on Instagram. Bam. People watching the live stream now. Bam, bam, bam. Everybody's coming in. They're probably not, but you know. So, yeah, let's find out if that even... I don't know if the link even works. That it even does. It's probably a pain in the butt. Probably doesn't even work at all, actually. Knowing my luck. Oh, it does! Okay. You just gotta copy and paste this, pain in the butt. It doesn't necessarily work from mobile, which is something I'm gonna figure out later. Who knows? Okay, so anyway. Just gonna take a swig. Okay, so let's run through a little bit. What is being used here today? What are we? You can see a couple of things in my taskbar already. So I'm gonna run you on through what is going on. So, in regards to tablet, I'm using an Intuos Pro medium. Would I recommend it? No, it's really expensive. It's really expensive, so maybe not. They're very nice, but they're very expensive. So maybe, I don't know. Would I recommend it? If you got money to burn, I guess. I can actually get back into my own drawing here, because I haven't fiddled with this one in... Well, actually, no, it's not been that long. I just haven't fiddled with it recently. So let's reset the Zoom on the YouTube. Jeez, ooh. The original stuff. There's a bunch of stuff we gotta do. Today, we're basically going to be foregoing a lot of this, though. We're definitely going to be foregoing all of the colour work. Like all of it. We're not going to be looking at any of that tab. Save copy tab. Don't even know what's in there, honestly. That's that. It's just a bunch of... It's just a bunch of guff. There's a poster that it's based off of. I really like the camera angle. And also the game. I don't know, go play Wonder Boy in the Dragon's Trap. Maybe instead of watching this live stream. I don't know. It's a good game. So... Yeah, so if you look at the whole thing, you've got... This is basically the line art that we're working with. And then you've got... There's some sketchy stuff, and there's the colour work. which has... I'll disable the color paths. It's very clearly the color work isn't finished for this. But what we're going to be doing today is some character stuff. I'm going to be drawing a couple of characters. I'm going to get them... I'm going to get these characters up for you. So we have... oh no, I didn't even finish explaining my gear. Dire. So, we have got... Let's go through, I suppose, in order of importance. We have Photoshop, which is my main drawing tool. It's something that I've used for years. 4 of them. Probably, like, actually 6 of them. And so it's something I'm very familiar with, but also I know a lot of places and people use it. I know a lot of people sort of swear by things like Paint Tool Sai, but I really like things like I really like the Kyle brush packs, which I'll get into in a moment. And also the next thing which I'm going to talk about, which is Lazy Nezumi Pro. A lot of people think that this is cheating. I don't think it's cheating. I think it's you're just using tools and stuff. Sometimes you want to smooth lines like that. Maybe not exactly like that, but like you get the idea. You know, you want smoother lines. Also, I don't know what pencil. I think we're just going to use the... I'm gonna go with this. I'm flip-flopping all over the place at the moment. I'm just gonna go for that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so yeah, so Lazy Nezumi Pro. If you haven't heard of it, then there is a link in the doodly doodly. Yeah, it's really useful. Like I said, a lot of people sort of consider line stabilization as unfair advantage or cheating. I think that's kind of nonsense. I know that the creator of Lazy Nezumi went on a bit of... It wasn't really recently, but it was recently in regards to, you know, it was within the last few months. The creator of Lazy Nezumi Pro got very irate because people call it cheating, and I agree with him. It's not. It's just you're just using another tool. I think actually I'm not an expert in this clearly because I know Photoshop, but I believe there are other drawing packages which actually have line stabilization built into them. Frankly, it's actually just baffling that Photoshop doesn't. I feel like that's something that Photoshop would really benefit from. So, you know, Lazy Nezumi Pro, we're using that. We're going to be using that for probably just line smoothing, but there's also a bunch of other stuff we can do. This is an advert phrase at Lazy Nezumi Pro. I just really fucking like Lazy Nezumi Pro. It's just really good. Also, let's make a new layer because I'm going to actually need one of those anyway. Yeah, so I mean, you know, Lazy Nezumi Pro. It's pretty cool. We're going to be using it, and it's not cheating, I don't think. So that's the first thing out of the way. Second thing, let's see. So Photoshop, what do I? Oh, Kyle brush. Yes, I've got a bunch of Kyle brush. I've got a bunch of Kyle brush brushes. I'm actually gonna turn. Oh, do I not have the hotkey working? No, which one is it? Wait a minute. Is it not? Oh dear. Oh dear. I don't know which one it is. Is it this one? Yeah. Well, I don't know what it is. But anyway, so, yeah, I've got a bunch of Kyle brushes. The one that I've got right now, this is one that I use a lot, is the Happy HB because I really like it. And also, it's a really just nice, like, sketching brush that gives you some sort of depth to, you know, your sketches just a little bit. I'm going to sketch something that a child would be able to draw. Hang on. There you go. There you go. We're gonna leave this dude here. Why not? So, yeah, I mean, you know, there's that. The shading for this, actually here, this whole piece so far was done using it was a combination of brushes, but the main one was the Big Wide Softy brush, which is just really nice. I also used it to I also used it just to make these palettes here. It's a nice thing. Kyle brush, again, the website is in the description, because, you know, like his brush packs are cool, and I'll be honest with you, I really like them. They're really actually really very good. I think I would say I almost swear by them as some of the best brush packs. There are a lot of like HB brushes, for example, that are out there. I'm going to turn off the color work layer. But I think car brushes are probably some of the best. I've just realized I should probably be double checking whether you can even see this, because I don't know if you can see it in the overlay. Anyway, so I think car brush stuff is really good. And the final thing, and you haven't seen it yet because it's on my other monitor, but I'm going to drag it over. Oh Jesus, I'm going to drag it over now. Is actually this is that's Todar. Here's all the little. I've just purged this recently, but it is Pure Ref. That's another thing that you can see in the description. I have almost spent 20 minutes of this stream just talking about the stuff I'm using as opposed to actually drawing. Yeah, Pure Ref's pretty cool. Organize all your reference and guff, all that kind of thing. It's really helpful for me. I tend to draw a lot of stylized stuff. And while I'm sort of trying to figure out what my... I'm very tired. What I'm trying to figure out what my style is, it's really helpful to have reference. But also, I'm now. You can blame. I'm gonna double check what his Twitter handle is. Pretty soon it's just like. Hang on. Where is he? Where is he? Yeah, there you go. Rowan Dunn 3 at Rowan Dunn 3. This boy here. Yeah, I mean, having reference is really helpful, and because of him, I am now a heavy Pinterest user. So I do collect a lot of reference now via Pinterest, and I'm a terrible person, and I'm more than aware of that. And oh, crikey. So now we can actually get into it. I did actually have some additional armor reference I wanted to add to my little thing, so maybe we'll see if I can find that or not as well. Don't think I'm gonna be able to. Oh well, we're just gonna, you know, whatever. We're just gonna chill. We're gonna doodle some stuff basically. So I have an idea of what I want for this. I will bring up a picture of them. So what we're doing today is we're drawing something for this. Super Pen and Paper Treasure Hunters. This is one of my, I'm going to just move it here. This is one of my sort of personal projects, as it were. And it's based on a slightly homebrewed, but 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Called, as you would probably expect, Treasure Hunters. And yeah, the idea behind it is magical items and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. But it's basically that we hunt treasure. That's the main gimmick, as the name would imply. And it was one of the things that I vaguely started working on. You can see that we've got sort of Paper Mario styled character here. The others I haven't quite gotten to yet because they've got slightly more difficult intricacies, and when I came up with this character, I sort of knew that I wanted him to be, well, this basically. I have some sort of older images of him, but I mean, from the beginning, I very much sort of envisioned the thing as a sort of Paper Mario style RPG. And so the idea behind this poster is that, because it was one of the things that I sort of vaguely worked on and did sketches for and that kind of thing, it was one of the things that I very much grew attached to. It was one of the ideas that I very much grew attached to, and something I worked on for quite a while. Oh, it is really late here. It's not 10:30. Something I worked on for a while. Yeah, so I wanted to, along with some of the other things that I'm going to be doing as well, I wanted to make a poster to sort of commemorate the 4 main projects that I spent the last 4 years working on. Which would be, I'll give you a listen now very quickly. We're talking Treasure Hunters was something that I worked on visually quite a lot, and also thought about quite a lot in regards to sort of style and how you take those aspects of the 5e world and pull them into some kind of coherent RPG setting. We've got Clockworks, which is my first year project, which you can still find on the YouTube channel. That's still there. Obviously this one that I'm streaming to. Project Marshall, which I did the first 2 drawing with Joe's. Don't know whether they're going to stay there. I think I might have some new stuff coming up next Friday. Not this week, which is the 1st, but next week, which is the 8th. So Friday the 8th, I think, unless there's any problems that prohibit it, there is going to be a Drawing with Joe live stream there. Not live stream, a Drawing with Joe time lapse, a traditional one there. Don't know if I'm going to keep the other 2. Might keep them, might not. But yeah, so that's sort of the state of that. Is there anything else I want to get out of the way? This has all been very, very boring, I assure you. Fourth and final project. That's something. That's a secret. No telling. You've probably not seen any of it at all. I don't think it ever really came to fruition, but it was something I definitely worked on for quite a while. Right now. Oh, I've popped the thing up. Whoops. That's something I'm going to have to get used to, is having stream overlays, because I keep bopping the button to... Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, so we're going to draw them. I'm actually going to grab my sketchbook. I'm still way unprepared for this. So, you're not going to see any of this, I'm afraid, but in my sketchbook I started outlining some of the Treasure Hunters stuff I was going to do, specifically what's going on with this drawing here. So, for those of you who haven't seen Treasure Hunters, or any of it at all, which you haven't because it's not in line, and I don't know, didn't really share it all that much. So the first sort of collection of sessions, I suppose, where they were set in a place called River City, and it's affectionately, because of this, it's affectionately referred to as the River City arc. I wonder why. And so that arc included was several other people other than myself and some of the people that we've got in the sessions at the moment. Let's see, where do I want his face to be? I don't know why we're such sure with the backwards. I think we need to allocate the thing more cash. So there were several other characters. We had, let's see, we had, who were they? Oh, blimey. So we had Gardane, who was a dwarf. Who is this dwarf that I'm just going to pull to my pure F so I can see a little bit more of Gardane. So we had Gardane, who was a dwarf. We had Kardak, who was a dragonborn. He was a big old boy. He was the tank of the party. We had Ryla, who was a ranger, and we had who else? Oh, blimey! Because we had two other characters who then didn't. After that, the players stopped playing Treasure Hunters, and so we sort of scrapped the characters. Were we had I think it was a rogue, I believe, whose name was Jonas, I think was his name, and we had a gnome as well, I think. Yeah, we had a gnome. Her name was Nim. And yeah, and so in my sort of Treasure Hunters, I suppose, headcanon, because it's not really the sort of the canon of the actual now existing series. I suppose series, not existing game, I suppose is the right word for it. Let's just pop in some very, very sort of usable eyes there so I can start blocking out some more stuff and then we can go over in a bit. So we had those 5 characters, and sort of in my head canon only really I'd say sort of 3 of them really even are ever mentioned in the sort of treasure huntersy, pen and paper treasure huntersy stuff, because obviously when the players left, the characters left with them, and they all sort of just kind of popped out of existence. I believe one of them just left, straight up just left one day, and the other one maybe died, but I don't remember. I'm sure if anybody from the old Treasure Hunters group is having a watch, they'll let me know, I'm sure. So, or even Reese, who's now the DM of Treasure Hunters, maybe he'll let me know. I don't know if he's even watching. If you are, hello Reese. If not, Treasure Hunters sucks, and you suck. And you should buff everybody and make us all rich. I don't know why I'm suggesting things like that when I've just A, insulted you, but B, suggested that you aren't even watching. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll put something in chat for you. Let's have a look. No, there's nothing there. Maybe, I don't know. We have got a bit like. We'll catch up and we'll see what happens. So, yeah, so, you know. So the first sort of, I suppose, era, I guess, of Treasure Hunters really is sort of thought of now as just the three characters that sort of actually of players who stuck around. We had, yeah, Kardak, Ryla, and Gardane. Gardane was mine. He was my little dwarfen paladin. He was a paladin. And yeah, Ryla was a ranger. And Kardak was... I think Kardak was a fighter. Although I cannot for the life of me remember. Once again, if somebody catches my mistake, they'll... I don't know, it'll be in the comments or something. One of the others will maybe catch it. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah. they've sort of been wiped from my, I guess, alternate treasure hunters idea that became treasure hunters, pen and paper treasure hunters, that is, which is the thing that I'm working on, which is not to be confused with the actual treasure hunters, which is a totally different thing, because this was just something I started working on as a personal thing. Yeah. So they aren't going to appear in this poster at all, actually. Probably, God, his head needs to be a little bit bigger than that. Also, this is a very... His face doesn't look right at all. Also, he doesn't have an expression, which is obviously quite a key part of, you know, it's just there as sort of a, now I can sort of fiddle with this size reference kind of thing. So, start blocking in other slightly more interesting elements. Which I'm actually going to... So, if you've never played any of 5e before, you wouldn't know this, and I also might not be correct, but who knows. Dwarves do not have names. They've all got a collection of names, and yeah, they've all got a collection of names. So they've got some. You've got a standard family name, or you've got a first name, and then you have a family name, and then you've got the middle name, which is like a sort of I don't know what the word would be. Almost, I suppose, summary of the person. In the sense that you've got physical traits and fucking I'm losing the word now. Physical traits and mannerisms, I guess, is probably the most correct way of putting it. So Gardain was called Gardain Toolshield. He was Gardain Toolshield Darnkill, because dwarves, I believe, tend to have very sort of Scottish sounding names, and he was called Toolshield. You've no doubt sort of ever so slightly noticed the huge rectangle that I drew just a minute ago. He was called Toolshield for the fact that he had a very big shield. He used to have a shield that was, I suppose, on a regular person, probably not particularly tall. It was probably just a sort of slightly large shield, but for him, it was about the size of him. So it was massive for him, obviously. Ooh. It was a huge shield on him. And yeah, and so the whole... Oh, that's definitely not in the right place. I can actually move that way up. So the whole thing for Gardain was he was a dwarven paladin with a huge shield. And that looks really, really weird. And yeah, so you know, we're gonna obviously keep true to the original idea of the character, more or less. And he's gonna have a massive damn shield, basically. But also, we're not gonna forget his plate armor, because he's got sort of big. He's a big old plated up metal armor dwarf who was very fun to play. I'd have to say that. I don't play him anymore. I play another character now, because Gardain got murderized, as tends to happen with the D&D characters. But I think he's still probably in my eyes almost not the main character, but part of the main group that was the sort of the collection of treasure hunters, really. You know, it was, like I say, I sort of see the original three where you've got Kardec, Guardian, and Ryla. So you know what, we're gonna nix this. We're gonna draw some 3D guff, and then we're gonna figure it out from there, because this just isn't right, I'm telling you. Because I want him to have his arm in the air holding a torch. So we're going to draw him like a Minecraft body. A little bit Minecraft body. A little bit of a bit more of a sort of larger circular roll. And then let's have a look, hang on. So I'm thinking I want to have him. Let's just draw in some really rough fingers here. Because I want him sort of holding a bit of a torch. Probably one of these, actually. I'm thinking one of these ones that's just on the wall here, or something similar. Bit of a Indiana Jonesy kind of thing. That's the kind of thing I'm looking at. It's sort of looking for a bit of an Indiana Jonesy kind of vibe to it. So you know, so we're just gonna wing it, really. Basically, and then he's got his big shield, and that arm doesn't look right at all, so we'll figure that out in a moment. No, do you know what he looks like? He doesn't look like a Minecraft character. He looks like the figure of the torso of a Lego figure. That's what he looks like. Hang on, Lego figure. Hang on, let's find a really simple, nice picture that's not gonna. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's not. Oh no. View image. There we go. Look at him. Look at him. He looks like a little. He looks a little bit like a. Oh, come on. Look at it. There you go. Looks like a torso of a Lego figure, doesn't it? Maybe we should draw him with claw hands as well. Let's abandon the whole pen and paper thing. It's just gonna go. We're just gonna go with Lego treasure hunters. There you go. Done. Anyway, so we are going to. Yeah, let's just see where this goes, shall we? We really just want to get sort of the sketching for at least one of them done today, is the thing. I don't know. Oh, don't do that. I don't know if I like his little. I don't know if his little torso really works as well as I'd like it to. Maybe it needs to be moved down a little bit. You could probably do with actually being moved down and then sort of widened a little bit, couldn't it? And I don't know. I think we'll have to. Well, you know what? Hang on. Actually, what might be worth doing is. Oh, no, not that one. It might be worth just flipping that. So he's. Yeah, that looks a little bit less naff, I guess. I'll figure it out, won't we? Let's just pop that like that. What I'm going to do is swap to another colour from it, and go into the massive smoothing. I'm going to draw a couple of points where I want his arm to go, maybe. Let's just sort of. Let's turn off that a little bit. That looks maybe a little bit better, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe though. Oops, subtle, okay. I don't know. I don't know, man. Sort of. Let's put in a bit of a shoulder pad here and have a look at what that looks like. Oh, it's also telling me Windows key. He's got his big old rounded shoulder pads as well. He used to have. So, yeah, it's not terrible. That's right. This is our first sort of sketch anyway, so it's all right. There can be some slightly rubbish kind of I don't know what the word would be, not artifacts, but bits and bobs. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back and be clever, and I'm going to use my reference, because I can use where Gardain's beard is as a reference to where his chest piece goes. It goes, it's like a sort of chest bit here. I guess we'd sort of go a bit like that as well. And he's got he's got a little bit sort of here, which goes. We're gonna take a little bit of, not freedoms with it, but we're gonna take a little bit of because it's my thing. But we're gonna take a little bit of. We're gonna abandon our reference just a little bit, just a little bit here, because I want to maybe add some. I don't know. What do you? You know, I like the idea that he's sort of got seams down his armor, because I like the idea that he maybe has, you know, you can see how it gets put on and off, and then maybe it sort of loops around like that. And he's sort of got some straps there. I don't know, we probably won't draw any of this, but you know, we'll draw any of this past sketching it, but you know, it's always good to think about what a character could have. I'm also wondering whether I put sort of a belt kind of thing. No, I don't think so. Because obviously the thing with the pen and paper treasure hunter's reference, as it were, is that it's very not simple, but it's very minimal. So it's sort of, there's very little of it. It's got sort of wrist piece here as well. Let's sort of see what happens with that. Again, it's all a matter of just trial and error a little bit. sort of got... These bits are going to be slightly difficult, I think. He's got the sort of, I think the word probably be codpiece would be the closest word. Sort of hangs down there. And then these sort of bits here sort of go off very much, almost in a sort of, not samurai, but very sort of exaggerated, you know, I mean, he's got this kind of shape to him, isn't he? See what I do? And, you know, so he's got that sort of thing. I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to get rid of our line out here from there. Oh, that's definitely not going to do. So I think we're going to have to take the lot of this. Sort of take our colour work a little bit here. Get rid of that. So I sort of want him sort of, he's coming in and he's about to sort of stand in the, you know. I don't think that foot is in the right place for that pose. I think he actually might need to be up a little bit higher. Because he's sort of stepping over almost, is the idea. So he actually needs to be moved up a little bit. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this right down in regards to opacity. Let's figure out some kind of, I suppose, underlying form for Gardane. So big dude. He's got a sort of reasonably bulky frame. Let's call that his frame. I'm gonna just, you know. So I'm gonna save that. Maybe it needs to be a little bit smaller. Maybe not though. We'll see. We'll see. Because we want I think what we want here is there's a very sort of clear bend in the arm, and then obviously his other arm is here. Let's see. So he's got that there. That's his other arm. You got a hand that goes here. Just grabbing onto something. Got a hand that goes here. And that's grabbing onto something too. So we got. That's what we've got. These fingers, and then that there, which is sort of, I mean, that's, you know, got sort of head there. Let's just sort of draw on a you know what I think we want actually? I think we want this foot. We want that sort of nice, sort of in frame, I reckon. Maybe not, maybe not. Okay. So it's those legs that are the problem. Oh. I've just got a beep to tell me that my headset has finished charging. You know, I think I'm just going to take it off. Hang on. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to open a sweet and start eating it. Okay. Well, now we come to a question: is do I even want him walking in at all? Or do I actually apprehensively want him sort of stood at the doorway? And yes, we're drawn over the other thing there, because I said so. Now the next question becomes, how does this shield sit? Maybe sort of sits like that. We'll give it sort of a central point there, just for the sake of reference. So I think maybe, even though he is a dwarf, I think maybe our dwarven friend is maybe a little bit too short here. Well, you know what? We'll see. What we're going to do is we'll put this into the background now. And we're also just on the same layer going to sketch out some of the other two characters. So we have a big old boy, Kardak. What we're going to do is not the line up. We're not going to do a new layer, and we're just going to sketch out a couple of thumbnail sketches. Actually, no. Maybe we'll end it with we'll do a little bit this for half an hour. So I think methinks we want Kardak. Just gonna, sort of looks like that, basically. Bit of a small there. A couple of teeth. Another tooth here. That's the basic idea. Yeah, there you go. If you wanted a tutorial on how to draw one of our sort of sweet little D&D characters, there you go. No, but so basically the point that I'm trying to get at is that Kardak has is sort of his you know, we'll do it like this actually. His sort of face or facial shape is basically just a box and a circle. Basically, he's a sort of typical long-snouted dragon, as it were. Now, we've got to look for some reference. Here's the fun bit. Yeah, we'll use this one now. I want him to be holding these. This is clearly rubbish. That's not going to work at all. We're not going to be looking for pirates. But what we are going to be looking at is somebody who we're going to draw a big old box. I'm going to draw that. Kind of will be holding a big old treasury boxy thing. He actually, there's the thing. Kardak actually, as a character, he actually lugged around for several sessions. In fact, I'm not sure he ever dropped it. He lugged around a huge treasure chest for a very, very long time. So I think we'll just I'm thinking that we've got Kardak with a big old treasure chest in one arm, maybe. Maybe I think that's actually a little bit too far. Oh, Photoshop, have you crashed? If you've crashed, we're going to call it a day. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. Okay. Calm down a little bit. I think I might be able to... No, you know. Looks a little bit like a cow, doesn't he? Give him a bit of those ears there. There you go. Kardak's a cow. So... get stuck into drawing a treasure chest for a little bit. I'll be okay, Joe, don't worry. There you go, you can tell it's treasure chest. So, indeed. Right, we're gonna get his. Kardak had a big old chess piece. Massive, sort of, you know. He was a big old dragonborn. Like how, yeah, he was a big old muscles. Wow, all the ladies loved him except they didn't, because that would be really, really cringy. Treasure chest probably a little bit too high, honestly, and also probably not the right angle. I think we'll probably, you know, it's, you know. Oh wow, that's a really, really horrible. Oh, you know what? That'll do. Why not? Really brought that merged in his with his face a little bit much. Whatever. We're just gonna go with that. Whatever, man. And then you know what? He's got a big old. I'm gonna draw him with a big old bag of gold. Or bag of something. Maybe it's not gold. Who knows? Jesus, his arm's got a little bit noodly there. Big old bag of something under his arm as well. Kardak used to carry a lot of the party's sort of guff, really. So he used to have a big old chest, shoulder pads, a big old circle bit in the center of his chest there. So I think really this is just going to be, it's going to be a very sort of starter drawing-y session of drawing with Jeremy, isn't it? Very, oh god, looks like he's got some sort of inflated swimwear pants. Oh god, no, we're just gonna, yeah, no, we're just gonna sort of fill that in a little bit. Like, we've gone further with Kardak than we have this entire thing with Gardain. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. So I'm thinking is we've got a little sort of kind of Gardein looking or at least roughly Gardein looking short bloke over here. That head can probably go down quite a bit. Yeah. So we'll just pop in our tall boy. There we go, we'll just leave him that size. No, of course not. Got it was a huge bloke. Got him carrying his little box of goodies there. And then, oh, that's there I can get it off. And then we're going to do a quick sketch of Reiner, who I think. Maybe not. I think we're going to leave it because I'm shattered for today. So I think what we'll probably do is I'll announce it at some other point. What we'll do is we will come back to this. Oh, that's not right. Come back to the stream at some point. I'll probably just randomly start up another stream, honestly, and we'll get back to work on this. I think we've got a reasonable base at the moment. I don't know if you... Oh, bloody hell. There's... Ooh. Warning. Close that for us. Warning. That's a bit of a sore sight to look at. Okay, so I think for a little bit of a start of character stuff, not terrible. We're just sort of trying to figure out the layout at the moment. So I think what we'll do is we'll sort that out, and then we will probably I'll probably do a little bit of work on it in between now and the next stream. I think maybe, ooh, I don't know when the next stream, I don't know the best time. Might be next Monday we do the next stream, but I'll probably see if we can do it earlier. We'll see what we can do though, because I very much enjoyed this. I hope you've people who have been sort of here on and off, I hope you've sort of enjoyed looking at me stream a little bit, and just sort of watching me basically just doodle outlines for a little bit while I'm trying to still figure out what I want to get down on paper, because I'm not sure that I'm entirely certain myself. I've had a sort of idea for this poster, but it's now getting it out as a visual piece that we've got to do. So thank you for joining me for the first what has really only been 45 minutes of that process. I spent the first half an hour setting up the stream and basically just mumbling and umming and ahhing, and there you go. We're going to do less of that next time. I'm going to jump into it straight away next time. But until then, thank you very much for joining me for this stream. It's been a pleasure. It's been nice to have you. And I'll catch you in the next stream. Okay, bye-bye.